Call the meeting to order. Can I have a mover and a second to open the meeting? Councillor Framboise, Councillor Poitier.
Oh yeah, I got to read. Sorry,
Yeah.
I was waiting. Moved in second, be it resolved that Council for the Corporation Municipality of St. Charles Haybar opens the Committee of the Whole meeting at 6 p.m. on March 4th, 2026.
All those in favor? Carried. All of council is present today. We would like to begin by acknowledging that we are in Robinson Huron Treaty Territory, and the land on which we gather is the traditional territory of the Atikameksheng Anishinaabe. We also wish to recognize our neighboring community of Doki's First Nation. While we meet today, we would like to take a moment to acknowledge the importance of the lands we each call home. We do this to reaffirm our commitment and responsibility in improving relationships between nations and to improving our own understanding of local Indigenous people and their culture. Can I have a mover and a seconder to adopt the agenda? Councillor Loftus, Councillor Lachance.
Duly moved and seconded, be it resolved that the agenda for the Committee of the Whole held March 4th, 2026 be adopted as presented.
All those in favor? Carried. Disclosure of pecuniary interest, Councillor Framboise.
None, Your Worship.
Councillor Loftus.
None, Your Worship.
Councillor Poitier.
None, Your Worship.
Councillor Lachance.
None, Your Worship.
And none for myself. Any announcements from council?
None for myself.
No. All right. Moving on to item 3.1.1, report to council, final backyard hen bylaw. Andrea.
Thank you. To you, Mr. Mayor. This is on, right? Okay. Okay, perfect. So this report is attached to a final draft of the backyard hen bylaw that was amended to incorporate discussions that we had at the last council meeting that I attended or to discuss. So the changes made to this draft were to allow the dispatching of hens. This was discussed with council and no one had any issues with allowing hens to be dispatched on residential properties. We removed the minimum distance separation requirements. Council asked if removing this would affect the setbacks in the bylaw, and it did not. After doing a bit more research on the minimum distance setbacks, separations, even the maximum number of hens that were that are allowed in this bylaw, which is 20 on larger properties, didn't make any kind of effect to any setback. So that's been removed because our setbacks in the bylaw were already more restrictive. We removed sections that mentioned that manure cannot be picked up for curbside collection or cannot be brought to a waste transfer site. These issues would be addressed in the municipality's waste bylaw that is also under review. And we removed the prohibition of the sale of eggs or other products from hens. Council discussed removing this prohibition and stated that information should be given to people as far as what the regulating bodies are for when it comes to the sale of eggs and to provide that in the education to residents who want to keep hens. This bylaw still prohibits the advertisement of the sale of products from hens, which I think works well. This bylaw is meant for personal use. It's not meant to allow enough hens to create enough to be able to sell. So if on occasion someone were to, have a few extra eggs and they sold them to a neighbor or gave them to a neighbor, that wouldn't necessarily be prohibited, but no one could put up a sign saying eggs for sale because this is meant for private consumption of the products. I did receive some comments from some councillors, but they were mostly grammatical or just editorial in nature, just to make some small changes to what we're seeing in the bylaw. So if I would like to ask council to recommend staff to prepare the final draft for council to be able to pass at the next regular council meeting. I do open up to any questions now. Council can still send me any questions or concerns they have after reading the bylaw, but I believe that you're seeing a 98% finished final draft to be ready for the next council meeting.
questions or comments?
None for myself, no comments, but I do agree to go ahead and prepare the final draft.
Thank you. Councillor Loftus, any questions?
Yeah, I'm okay with to go ahead with the final draft also.
All right. Councillor Potier?
I'm also in agreement with going to the final draft. Thank you for the bringing the bylaw to fruition.
And Councillor Lachance?
I agree with the recommendations.
All right, thank you very much. Move on to the next one then, item 3.1.2, report to council updates on parking and traffic bylaw.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Through you, I'm just going to get to the right page. Okay, so this was also discussed at the last council meeting that I attended. Some recommendations, some changes that were mandated to be made to the parking bylaw were presented, and there were also some staff recommendations that were discussed. So the parking and traffic draft bylaw that you see before you makes the changes that were discussed, including that AMPS charges have been added to this draft bylaw, and this is being mandated by the Ministry of Transportation. We have to remove provincial offenses for our parking penalties, and they have to be enforced through administrative monetary penalties, so that language has been changed. We removed section 3.1, and this was a staff recommendation. Basically, that section stated that no parking would be allowed anywhere except for certain places within the municipality. So now parking will be restricted to a time limit of 4 hours where parking can happen, as long as it's not restricted by any other aspect listed in 3.7. Some of these examples are distances to driveways and intersections, and parking on streets that are less than 6 meters in width, or anything listed as prohibited by Schedule B. There's nothing listed in Schedule B right now, but if Public Works were to ever want to have a road be completely no parking and make sure that it's mandated within the bylaw, that's the schedule it would be listed in. So the Public Works Department and bylaw will continue to review the need for any change to this bylaw, and also for signage in problem areas, and to report parking issues to bylaw enforcement. The fire routes schedule was updated to remove private roads that should not have been listed, and to add a fire route in front of the fire hall on both sides of St. Joseph Street, and also to amend some of the language around the fire route on Chef of Fist Lane. It was reduced because it's really only meant to access the public health building, and the definition of shoulder has been added. I did receive some comments, and they've been addressed. There wasn't anything within the comments that would have been worth discussing. It was mostly, again, grammatical errors or issues with some of the sections in the bylaw. So if there are any other comments, I open it up to questions now, but I am also recommending that this bylaw is ready to be finalized and presented to council for passing at the next council meeting.
Any comments or questions?
None for myself.
Councillor Loftus?
No, none for myself.
Councillor Potier?
No, I think it's ready for final draft. Yeah, thank you.
All right. Councillor Lachance?
I also agree with the recommendations.
Okay. Thank you very much for bringing these two bylaws to a conclusion. Thank you. Next item then. Item 3.2.1, report to council, authorization to tender for a tandem snowplow.
Thank you.
Michelle.
So the report highlights that staff is requesting prior to the 2026 budget approval, the authorization to proceed with tendering the purchase of a replacement tandem snowplow. The recommendation comes due to higher than anticipated maintenance on the asset due to its age. Also that there is extended manufacturer lead times currently for vehicles and heavy equipment, looking at anywhere from 6 to 14 months. So the recommendation would be for operational and financial efficiencies, so we can have the replacement vehicle before next snowfall, and hopefully mitigate any extra incurred costs for maintenance on the vehicle.
All right, thank you very much. So the request is just to, okay for tender. Councillor Laframboise, any comments or questions?
The only thing I have, and I know it's probably like, this is just to like agree with the recommendation, but I know that we had sales this year. Is there any possible way that we can maybe put those sales amount towards the purchase of this item?
Council is able to make that decision as a whole for the allocation of the funds, whether that be back to the revenues or our reserves. So that would be,
Okay, okay, I'm also in recommendation, agreement with the recommendation. I was just curious because we did have a nice amount come back with the sale, so I guess it'd be something to discuss for later.
All right, thank you. Councillor Loftus.
Yeah, I'm also in favor of the recommendation to put out a tender, to see if we can find a nice truck for 450, maybe less, maybe.
Thank you very much. Councillor Potier?
This one might be more directed towards the treasurer. Is this in line with what was expected to be budgeted for the, because I know the asset management was expected to be 2026? Is this pretty much in line with what was forecasted, I guess, maybe, or?
Yes, we were it's a little bit higher than what we originally put in the budget, or in the asset management plan, because again, it was based on 2024.
Yeah.
So I think we were on the 380, 400, so it's slightly more.
Yeah, okay. And as far as for the budget and the funds from the sales of last year, I think it'll go into the I guess the bank anyways, so at the end of the day, it just gets balanced out, right? That's all that comes to.
So typically, council will direct where the funds are gonna go. I believe we had a few unexpected repairs on some major equipment last year that was a little bit over budget. So I think we were gonna request that some of those funds be offset against that, not all of them. You'll also have the sale of this vehicle,
Yeah.
the replacement vehicle, that council could go towards this, so that we're planning on getting a loan for this, so that your principal of the loan balance will not be as high, so that you can save some interest there.
Perfect. Sounds good. Thank you.
Councillor Lachance?
No, I agree with the recommendation to go for tender. Maybe all these new vehicles will encourage some people to apply for open positions. And nice new ride. Come work in St. Charles.
Okay. So therefore, move ahead with tender to get a price for us and see what's out there. Thank you very much. Next, treasurer, report to council revised signing authority bylaw. Pam?
Okay, so while the treasurer was away and the CEO was away on holidays, council had revised the bylaw to give signing authority to the clerk if the treasurer and CEO were away. Upon my return and reviewing this bylaw, I noticed that it said that the CAO, or in his absence, the treasurer has signing authority. So that means if Denis is here, he would have the signing authority and I wouldn't necessarily be able to sign. So I'm suggesting that we revise the bylaw to say that Denis Turcot, CAO, or Pamela McCracken, treasurer, and still keep the "and" for the clerk, so that Denis or I can sign, and then in the absence of both of us, Tammy will be able to sign.
All right, thank you. I think that was just a little mistype, or that was not the intent, but any questions or comments?
None for myself.
No, I'm in favor.
Okay, Councillor Potier?
No, I'm in favor of the recommended resolution.
Okay, Councillor Lachance?
Yeah, that makes sense to me.
Okay, thank you very much. Next, report to council, request for a separate bank account, Connect 55. Pamela.
Okay, so Connect 55 is a program that we have here that provides hot and cold meals to seniors in our municipality. Currently, what has been happening is the employees of the program have been purchasing the meals through their own funds and submitting for reimbursement after the event has happened. we have now added the municipality of Mark Stay Warren, so the meals have doubled, even tripled from what we were. So the expenses that we are asking employees to harbor is a lot more, and especially if we are paying every 2 weeks, some of these bills can be $800-900. So the program has come towards the treasurer and asked for some solutions. One solution was to give them a credit card, but then again, there's multiple people that purchase meals or go purchase the supplies for the meals. So assigning a credit card to an individual would be difficult. So another solution was getting a debit card that they could use, that they could pass to individuals, whoever are going shopping. And then only the funds from the hot and cold meals we would place in that separate bank account. So we would open up a separate bank account. All the funds that have been associated to that program would be placed in that bank account. Any funds that are coming in and out would be through that bank account. Any funds that are deposited from the sales of that would be placed in that bank account. Therefore, their funds would be completely separate and they would know what they have at all times instead of me having to go and do a calculation because it's all mixed in with ours. In order to do this, talking to the bank, you can only have one signature to open up a debit card, which is why we can't have a debit card with municipality because it requires 2 signatures on everything. So talking to the bank, if this is something that council wishes, we would have to pass a resolution saying that this bank account would only require 1 signature. So essentially they kind of what we're asking is if we want to open up a separate bank account, can we have 1 signature? Also, they would still have an employee that is responsible, that would be signing on to this bank, that would be responsible for this bank account, and it can be transferable. So it's not like they're opening up a personal bank account, and if that person leaves, the money leaves with them. It can be transferred, it's within the municipality. We would just change the name of the employee that is associated to the bank account. Receipts would have to be handed in to Treasurer's Department, who would do the reconciliation of the bank account, saying, okay, you've had 4 purchases, I have 4 receipts. Staff, again, would be responsible for submitting their receipts, and we would also have a clause that, you know, if a receipt isn't handed in, just like we have with everything else, that they're responsible for that. So if they purchase something, they don't have a receipt, unfortunately, that is on them if they can't find a receipt. So that is essentially what we're looking at. We are looking at if council has any other ideas of how we can give them the opportunity to purchase their funds without having to go within their personal funds. I'm open to suggestions.
Councillor Framboise.
I just have, so for like transparency, would it be possible to get a quarterly, like a quarterly reporting about that account? Because before it used to go on cash disbursement, right?
Correct.
We would see that. So now being that it would be a separate account, it would totally be different.
Yeah, so I could run another cash disbursement, so you'd have 2 cash disbursement journals.
I'm saying quarterly, but like whatever, like monthly.
Yeah.
Doesn't, okay, yeah, I would like that. I'm in agreement with their recommendation.
Okay. Councillor Loftus?
Yeah, I'm also in agreement, and I like the fact that even if they have a separate account, that you're overseeing it, and as long as council is brought like a quarterly report, just to make sure that everything is on the up and up, like the one person will be responsible, but she would be paying the mileage and everything out of that account, so we'd see it. So when we get our monthly report, would it be too much to ask to do a monthly report, or they only have 2 meals a month, right?
They have 2 meals a month, so it'd be easier because it wouldn't be all mixed in with ours. So I'd be able to see what their balance is at any time. The only thing that we would have to do is the payroll. We would pay it through the municipality, but then transfer the money from their account to our account. It's the same thing that we used to do with the library. Everything was put through our account, but we would have it separate, saying, okay, this is what we paid for them. We paid X amount, and then I would do a transfer from, because we would pay it from our account, and I would transfer it back into our account. So at all times, they would know what their current balance is.
Okay. No, I'm in agreement with it. I think it's a good idea.
Councillor Putzi?
So I'm assuming it would be with the KICE, for the debit. I know when, like, other people have had it where they have an account set up, like, I'm not sure if the majority of their purposes are done at the food market.
No.
No? Okay. 'Cause I know in the past, it was just as simple as setting up an account through
Yeah.
food
So-
market, so it wouldn't be done that way, I guess.
No, they
Yeah.
started off with that and they had their own account so that when they made purchases, we knew exactly what was theirs. But because they've gotten bigger and they have to stay within their budget, because they have to be revenue neutral, they shop for sales. So they
Yeah.
go into Sudbury and whatever's on sale that week, they used to build their menu around it. Oh, chicken's on sale this week, we're gonna make a chicken meal.
Okay.
And because of the volume that they now have, they go to multiple stores and shop the sales to get as much money they can.
Yeah.
Or much value out of their money.
Okay. No, sounds good. I'm okay with the recommendation. And again, I guess it's one of those things, there's only one, they'll still only have one card, I guess, essentially.
Correct.
At the end of- Yeah. It's a shame yeah, you'd think it'd be simpler to have a couple different cards, but I guess, yeah, it is what it is.
Councillor Lachance?
Yeah, no, I'm okay with the recommendations. I'm sure we'll have some kind of, strict enough limits on you can't transfer more than $5,000 or $1,000 or whatever it is, so that, doesn't disappear too quick.
No, they don't really carry a large balance in theirs, so, and again, it is not associated to us, so that if they go into overdraw, it withdraws from the municipal account, so it would never affect that they could start using those funds. And the transfer would be one way, other than the initial, here's your beginning money from the municipal to them, it would never be the opposite, right? I'd always be taking from them to refund the municipal.
Any more comments?
Nope.
You're good?
Myself.
All right, so thank you very much, Pamela. So go ahead with that creation of the new account. Next item, 333, report to council asset management plan prepared by Pamela.
Okay, so at the last council meeting, we were presented with our asset management plan. So this is just essentially a report asking council to approve it. And then at the next council meeting, the actual approval, resolution, bylaw, whatever needs to be done will be passed. And then we can post it and be compliant with the requirements. So now we had a little bit more time to review it. Does anybody have any questions or?
Councillor Framboise?
None for myself.
None for myself.
No? No?
Yeah, no, I think we kind of covered it when we had the conversation, the presentation, so.
Okay, perfect.
Okay, thanks.
I will
Alright.
have something prepared for the next one to pass it and we'll post it as soon as possible.
Thank you very much, Pamela.
No time for phase 4 or 5 or 6?
5 more years.
Okay, next item, 341, report to council request for rate reduction, OCOF, prepared by Denis.
Yes, your worship. This is the ever so frequent request for rate reduction. It has become very, not consistent, but rather than 1 or 2 per year, it's like one a month now. So again, a request from OCOF to anything as a rate reduction for their event that they, for food security, teaching people how to cook, so they rented the hall. Unfortunately, we got this request after the last meeting was closed, so it didn't make the last meeting. So it, obviously the event has passed. So this is after the event consideration. As I was preparing this and the so many months, so many requests, I was thinking if we establish a policy that it may help limit the request at council or standardize the request. Limit it 1 per association, max amount. So I did, with the help of computer and the internet, put something together in terms of a draft policy. I don't know if council is interested in the policy, but first of all, the request for the rate reduction, the question is, council, 10%, 20%, more, less, free discount. It does meet a lot of the vulnerable. Unfortunately, every time we, in discussion with the treasurer, every time we give something away, it's not $0, it's actually a negative, because we have to have staff prior to the event, make sure that everything clean and up to date, and after the event, similar, check the washroom, so it's never a free, it's a cost to it. Whether the electricity cost anything or the propane, that's probably minimal in terms. Unfortunately, in discussion with the treasurer, the rates are calculated, especially at the community center. 80% of the rate that we charge people is roughly the cleaning cost. It's averaged out. Obviously, we know the tournament in August is probably we don't even cover the cleaning, but other events, if they have a yoga on socks, it's pretty much negligible. Or we probably do cover most of the cleaning there. So that being said, that's why I was wanting to start to standardize stuff in terms of percentage off, and maybe not recommend free for all events. And if we let everyone know ahead of time, you won't get a free event, they won't be surprised when we do come back. But again, community center, if we do call it a community center, any event that is appealing to everyone, it's free and open, or it serves a vulnerable group, is it better to have an event that serves the community rather than an empty hall? So I would assume that food security is one of those key programs that serves a distinct population of people that are residents that are in need. But again, is it a free and open use for the community hall, or cover the cost of cleaning, or we need to truly cover our costs? So anyways, it's up for debate at council. A 10% for qualified organization is an easy one out, or maybe 20%. As I was suggesting, maybe we should do one for nonprofits, or minor hockey, because they are fundraising. Nonprofits is they're trying to give stuff away. So anyways, I'm went to what council's direction.
Councillor Framboise.
I think it's time to look at a policy. I'm glad that you brought this forward. The last committee that came forward, I think we had discussed 50-50. I honestly think we need to make sure that there's a cost for hall cleaning, like you stated, no matter what. So I'm not in agreement that they get it for free. Doesn't matter who they are. That's
Okay, do you have a percentage you are interested in?
I just, I know like the last time was 50%, meaning that it was like being the hall, so we have it at 20%, so if the 20%, the 80% rate does cover, because the last time we said 50-50 and we stated that 50 was covering the cleaning, right? I'm pretty sure.
Yep.
So that's why I'm like,
And it was clarified by the treasurer that when she
It wasn't
did
enough.
the exercise, unfortunately, we do have events that skew the calculation, because unfortunately, I know the August tournament is very hard on the wax. It's constant cleaning, where, like I say, if you have a yoga in there on the
Exactly,
socks,
yeah. It's not a registered charity, it's hard, I'm between B and C for this one.
Okay. Councillor Loftus?
Well, I know with the workshop, like, was for 2.5 hours. So it wasn't for the whole day or any event, like, so, like, I would give them a discount, but like, I do agree that we should have to cover the cost of cleaning regardless, because with OCOF, you're looking at boots, you're looking at, you know, so the cleaner has to go in and clean. So, for myself also, I like B and C, depending on who it's for. If it's like nonprofit, where it's serving the residents and the children of the community, I would be looking, I'd like to say 50-50.
Okay.
Like at least give them 50% off.
And for the OCOP one that with the request right now,
I would say 50% off, but it like, for 2.5 hours, are you charging them for the whole day?
No, it's an hourly rate.
It's an hourly rate, so. I mean, I would tend to say give them, it's for the children and it was for the community, so. Eh?
Just local to a workshop.
Yeah, yeah.
all right, so 50? Councillor Patsy?
I mean, there's a lot of different ways to look at this. We keep going back to the, being, putting the cost of at least the cleaning back on the rentees or the qualified organizations. We're constantly looking at different programming or programs that are being, some are asking for 100% discount or even 50% or whatever the offer is, and then at the end of the day, a lot of these programs they're being given out as non-profit, but I mean even for some of these programming to give a $5 fee or $10 fee, like I'm sure people are still capable of paying a $5 or $10 fee for programming. I know it, and stuff like that would just go towards them being able to provide more programming. So I don't know, like the policy in question, I think we need to possibly visit it in a separate topic just to be able to go over it more in detail. Because I know I'm not a big fan of C, where it kind of opens up the door that it has to be free to attend to be able to get 50%, because the free to attend part, yes, it's a benefit to the to the whole community, but it's also, if it's $5, $10 a small fee, it could generate the not income, but the funds needed to be able to host those events, right? Instead of always needing to free. So I don't know. I'm okay with going with for this one I'd say A or B. At the end of the day, it's not a huge cost to them for this event. So I think they were just asking for something. They weren't asking for a lot. They just wanted where was it exactly? It was we were grateful for any consideration you can give to supporting this community focused initiative. So I mean, I'm okay with I honestly I didn't even see any really too much publicity on this one locally either. I know that I had seen some stuff for like in Massey and other areas, but I hadn't seen one for St. Charles specifically. I don't know how well it was attended, but that's always some of the things that we push is any event that they're asking for discounts or stuff like that. They need to really publicize it locally instead of just hosting it and then can we have it for a discount? So yeah, I don't know. I'm in favor of giving a discount, but I don't know if it should be 50%. At the end of the day, it was maybe $150, I think. Yeah, so I mean, I'm okay with B at the most.
Okay, B. Councillor Lachance?
Yeah, as far as the discount for this specific rental, sounds like everyone was in favor with the 20% more or less, so I'm okay with sticking with that. Going forward for policies, for the policy, as Councillor Patsy mentioned about non-for-profit, but some of the non-for-profit organizations' conditions of their grant money or their funding that they're allowed to use is that they cannot charge for attendees, right? So might make it hard. I understand what you're saying, but
yeah.
If it's a true non-for-profit and they're funded by the government or other organizations, they can't ask for money. So I think maybe all three, like A, B, and C options. We would have to discuss further. I think we do have to have a policy, but we already have a qualifying organizations. OCOF, I guess, isn't on that list. Maybe as a minimum that they do operate out of here, they could be added to that qualifying organization going forward. And from there, you can discuss other qualified organizations, when they would be able to receive a 10% discount, and if you wanted to have a ladder where there could be times where there's a 20 or even more of a discount, there'd have to be conditions met on each one of those rentals encompassed in our qualified organizations. If that
Okay.
makes sense.
Yeah, so for this time, what do you think would be,
I'm okay with the 20, like I said.
with the
to start.
20%?
Yeah,
All right, so I think,
But it would
there's,
be nice to have,
A structure.
Just a report back saying, hey, this is how many people attended, something
Yeah.
simple like that, you know?
yeah,
Do we care if they're from here? Yeah, we would like them to be, the participants to be from our municipality, but at least let us know how many people attended, and they let us see how worth it was, you know? How many people will be helped by this?
okay. So I think, I'm also in agreement, since there's discrepancy a little bit, I'm also in agreement with the 20% for now. And we work on a finished policy.
Sorry, I said report back, a letter would be fine.
Yeah.
Don't expect someone to come and report it to us, but just correspondence,
Yeah.
so it's.
All right. Thank you very much. Next, item 342, report to council Senior of the Year Award. Denis, you're up again.
Yes, your worship. I'm just making
No,
notes.
take your time, take your time.
Yes, your worship. Similar as last year, the council would remember, we restarted the campaign for the Senior of the Year Award. We would advertise. I did get some comments that it was not seen by everyone, so we're going to definitely try to hit a bit more, because I was almost sure that we had done the advertising online, but maybe it's time we reach out to maybe different groups, maybe posters. I know people don't read posters. In talking with the treasurer, if council's okay, next year in the flyer mail out on the tax bill, we'll have a little blurb, because the program will continue over year, so it'll be an ongoing blurb in the January mail out. So if you letting everyone know, if you know the senior that did a lot of work, put them forward. This event doesn't cost anything. This award doesn't cost, so we just submit the name of the province. We receive back an award. Last year, it was awarded to Elaine Tremblay. Presentation was made at the local seniors club at their last lunch in June. The age-friendly committee is really involved with this. They will be coming to council shortly, proposing not an alternate event, a complementary event that would try to get more seniors to attend. One of the comments is that the seniors, it's always the same group going there. It may not be appealing to other people that maybe don't go as often. But that being said, there will be a report to council. The drive is to have a seniors, was it a luncheon or
Yeah, it's a
snack?
lunch.
As-
It's a
Yeah,
lunch.
Snack.
a luncheon.
Yeah,
It's
the
their
one,
lunch.
yeah, that's over lunch,
Yeah.
but what is to do an alternate for just getting people out to, so it would be 2 events in June, because the one that is done by the Seniors Club is an independent body, is technically not by the municipality. So the proposal will go out. I don't have all the details. It should be coming
Yeah.
at next council meeting, because this is all in June, so we need some lead time to get council's buy-in.
And I believe also, I don't know if I'm speaking out of turn, but the people that take care of 55 plus say they also they take care of seniors 55 and above, but lots are over the 65, and they say they would like to be involved in the seniors luncheon in one way or another.
Yeah, and I think in there, I had missed one of the planning meetings, and I didn't know if they wanted volunteers also. I was clarified to me afterwards, this would not be the volunteer, because I know council also wanted a volunteer event. And then that is also maybe if we are to have one, because it should be within the next period, because I know it was brought up last year, and it's just coming to light, that we're running out of time. So if council wants to get direction on that, but I know we're working, on a report, more reports to come to council. So I do believe that council has no objection going forward on the senior of the year. Is to make it known, spread the word. Joanne has worked on a poster, and the wording. We're working with Lisette at Public Health. They're the public health nurse. She is the one leading in the age-friendly committee. So again, if council has any questions.
Any questions?
No questions for myself. I am in agreement with the recommendation.
Okay, Councillor Lopez?
No, last year I attended and it was great, and I think that all the seniors that were nominated were well deserving. They appreciate it so much. The only thing that maybe, not this year because it's kind of late, but for next year, the library newsletter, if you put that in March 1st, everybody gets the library newsletter, so that would be, it would reach everybody's home. It's,
We can do it in April. It's only due April 30th.
well, then, that would be my suggestion, to put it in the library newsletter.
Good idea.
And if Joanne has a poster made up, you put that right in and make sure that it's in bold letters, so that the seniors can see that.
Okay, we will move on that.
Because then they'd be able to vote. There's some people that don't vote or don't nominate somebody because they don't know of the event, so.
Yep,
Yeah.
good idea. Councillor Potier?
No, I'm in favor of the recommended resolution. You know, as far as the advertisement of it goes, this would be also posted on the municipal Facebook page as well, I'm assuming, yeah? Okay, perfect, yeah. I think it's a great way to get everything out,
Yeah.
reach as many people as you can, and awesome,
Okay,
thank you.
thank you, Councillor Lachance.
Yeah, the only other thing I could add is possibly like putting a poster up at the food market, at the Main Street Market. That's the only other,
Yeah, okay.
maybe at the arena too.
We don't have Sue
Yeah.
making posters anymore.
Yeah.
All right, thank you very much.
And the pharmacy.
Pharmacy.
Oh, pharmacy would be a big one.
Yes.
Forgetting about the pharmacy.
All right, you ready? Next one, report to council, future of library.
Yes, your worship, I know at last council meeting, council had a few items that they were wanting to get off the ground. So I brought forward the future of library, because we will, I did get word back from the school board. They're going to try for March 31st transition. I gave the contact for both the current tenants. I notified both current tenants that we're working to a transition. But I haven't word yet. But part of that transition will also be a renewed lease agreement for the library. And if we're aiming for March 31st, I have to be ready with the school. Am I going to do the standard 1-year renewal? Am I going to say I want a 3-month out clause, because I think there was language in there for us to withdraw early, but still I don't want to leave the school to do some renovations and we're just going to leave. So I went online. I found a few reports by the province of Ontario. And unfortunately, everyone is using the tool. We're using AI to generate some summaries. I read through it. It's a pretty extensive, it's a brief of the potentials. And I did follow the links. You follow the link, you can go to the report and actually confirm that it is accurate. There's different delivery models of libraries, but the two that the three that basically work well, the single branch core library, which are reduced hours or traditional based model, that's basically what we have right now. The one that is possible if you go super small is the digital library. Digital first virtual library model basically is digital ebooks, computers, they come in, sit down, limited books. And the other model of interest would be the community hub multi-use facility models. And again, if you follow that link, it goes to the extensive report. There's quite a summary on what they do. And again, if you look at those three models, is if we decide to stay at the school, obviously model one, we have the space for it. We could potentially reduce that library to one classroom, reduce the rent to one classroom, and move to a digital model at the school also. I don't know how, that may not work well with the school, with the kids going up and wanting it to have a book, because if 90% of the books are digital, I don't think that is, I don't know how the school system would work with a grade 1 or 2 going to the library and it's only digital and not aesthetics. And if we move to various municipal buildings or continue various spots, depending on the size available, it could vary from the community hub would be more of community center / arena type, and digital could be considered for smaller space. We don't have an empty room, but if it were the wellness center, we don't have the floor space, we could consider a digital model. And I think I did ask the CBO on various concerns. The use at the, if I understand correctly, it's an assembly area, it's compatible. Here it is not as compatible. We have issues with, we need that is a staff lunchroom, so we cannot access the washrooms. One of the washrooms, like we've long planned to convert to an accessibility, would have to be done, but I still have a problem that I need a lunchroom. So, and I can't get away from that. And so, again, there is more or less a easy way out is to give us time, is to extend the contract of the school, but it doesn't move along probably what should move. It's still $10,000 of taxpayers being spent in a facility that we don't benefit from. If we can take that $10,000 and invest it in one of the existing municipal buildings and maybe complement the services. Here, if it would be like here, it would maybe complement the Service Ontario side. At the arena, it would definitely bring people to the arena. There's all kinds of potentials at the arena. It could be in conjunction with activities going on there on the ice. Brother, sister plays hockey, the younger brother, sister goes in the library and runs a little program. They could coincide with training. There is also possible of using parts of the lobby to have a reading club, have coffee, come and read a book, have a coffee in the lobby, use the building. Because unfortunately right now the limited use of that building is there's no other service. So again, it's a big discussion. There is not really a rush, but there is important to make at least an initial decision to at least give notice to the school, or I wouldn't, I've already told them, but it's never definitive that we're moving away or we're there for another year. So hopefully it was clear enough. I didn't put too much mud in my report there. And any location picked would be it would require further study. I would have a report from the CBO. We may have to have some crude drawings made up just to see if it would work. Or again, I can look at the school and ask for a rental rate of one classroom and reduce the library to a digital at the school, which I don't think I put it in my options there.
I think you put it somewhere.
I remember reading it.
Yeah, okay, so, because I only thought of that one when I was talking about this room. It says, well, this is the size of the classroom. So if it fits here, the advantage there is there's already washrooms outside established.
Was there also, I think, I'm not sure if was in the report or if it was in a discussion about if we would have more services, it might promote more facility in obtaining grants.
Oh, yes. Currently, there is a $500,000 to $1 million grant to upgrade facilities where there's employment. So, but it's for accessibility purposes. So in here, I don't mean the minimum of $500,000 for the washroom, but an elevator at the arena does. But the problem is, there's no employment on the second floor. If I were to have the library there with staff, I could apply. It doesn't mean we're going to get it, but right now it's difficult to apply for a grant. One, it's an empty hall and used for other events other than what the purpose of the grant is. So if there's direction or movement toward whichever, we can pass a resolution, and I could use that as, we want to do this, what's in the resolution, but we need the cash to improve, have a fob system, have an alternate entrance, have a true elevator, because that is technically missing. Not technically, it's for the ease of use, the practically, to make it inviting. We need something other than an elevator in the ice rink. Because if you're going to a library and you need the use of the elevator, you have to press the buzzer, staff will come down, open the door, let you up. You're in the cold air of the arena. There's some potential ways around there, but we all know that is one of the unfortunate whoopsies not a whoopsie, it's not thinking ahead. Because it was always intended, it's for when there's a tournament, people will go upstairs and it helps somebody just go there. It was never intended as an alternate using the upstairs as other than separate from the ice rink. I think it was always intended as one unit, but if we want to track something upstairs, whatever it is, even like the yoga classes, if somebody wants to use the elevator, is you require a staff or they require access to the ice rink, which we all know is an extra staff on and when the event is going on, and in summers it makes it difficult because it's not staffed. So in winter they could plan their event during when somebody's there, so they have the little yoga classes going on when the arena is somebody there. So again, the grant is closing on March 12th, but right now I don't meet the minimum conditions unless this toilet somehow costs $500,000. Elevator does, by the way. It's crazy.
Okay. So we've got lots of options, lots of things that were discussed. This, from what I understood, this is not a proper location for a library because of the facilities. I do think it would be nice to move the library out, so at least in my view, it would be nice if we get a contract, we have an out that's shorter, not like a 6-month term. But now the appetite is, where's the appetite? Is there any appetite to actually not decide today to do it, but have a study on whether or not it would be feasible at the upstairs arena? I think that's sort of one question. Reading that was a question that came to my mind. Is there appetite from council to actually look at a short staff study on whether or not how they could envision the process? Or if you have any other recommendations.
I just think just before even thinking of that, we need to hand out a survey or get feedback from the community, because if we need to know if people are using the library. I know they're saying they are, but we really need to know how much, how many, because we're in 2025, lots of people are going online, they're doing ebooks. 2026, yeah. I just think that we need to put a survey out there, will people walk or drive to the arena? Like, we need to put it out there into the community and see first, before even thinking of doing the relocation of the library.
But, and in the same, I don't know if I want to jumble everything up, that's the question. But I know that there has been mention of having the gym also, because they're having limited space. Anyhow, so
Yeah.
a survey?
I'd like to see also the pricing for one classroom. And I would also like to see if we can approach, I know there's other business in the community closer, that they do have empty rooms, if that would be an option, if it would be cheaper than 10,000.
Okay,
So, because if we're looking at 10,000, it's gonna cost us more to relocate it at the arena, but if you're willing to, like you said, the gym and stuff, we're looking at a future, but I don't know, I'd like to see other options open to see if there is other businesses that would be willing to rent us, rooms.
okay, I'm sure that they could be contacted, we don't have a long list. Anything else?
No.
Councillor Loftus.
Okay, so I know right now they have the computers that on a daily basis, they have, I think, 6 computers. And we could get the stats from the library, but there is certain individuals that use the computers on a daily basis. Right now they have taxes for the seniors. There's a person that comes into the library and they come up and they get their taxes done. The newsletter's done there, and they also have a book club that meets there also. My concern, I don't want the school, I don't wanna have to pay the school board. Like, we do have municipal buildings. The arena, it would be nice, but I'm just thinking the arena is a distance away. We'd have to find out whether people would want it there and how much it would cost us to get it there. I like the idea of where the gym is, because it's central, where everybody could just go in. But my concern where the gym is the traffic and people going in and out. It's a very busy intersection, and if the library was there, you'd have library staff and you'd have, like, I'd be concerned about somebody getting hit, or it's a small parking lot for what, so I agree with, I would like to see a survey go out, see how, I would like the stats, given by the librarian of how many, I know the 3 classes go up there twice a week. There's, all the kids go up there, and there's one teacher that actually brings up her class to do a work session in the afternoon, for the afternoon. So it is being utilized by the children of the school, twice a week. So if we move it to the arena, we probably will not get those children to go to the arena. It's quite a distance away.
Yeah.
So, our first step, renew it. Just, if you can renew our contract for 6 months, I would say, until we can get a survey maybe put out, see what the public want. Even if it's an online survey where, you know, like, send out something that we can see.
Okay. Councillor Potier.
Yeah, there's always a lot of different, there's a lot of different options, there's a lot of different ideas. At the end of the day, any idea or any path forward, there's gonna be financial implications to it. Just regardless, relocating, there's gonna have to be, anywhere you were to move to, there would be renovations required. I completely, I completely agree with the idea of moving the library to above where the health center is. That would definitely be a key location within the community, because I don't think having it at the arena would be feasible, just for distance wise. At least if it was there, there would still be usage from the school. I think if it was at the arena, they wouldn't, I don't think there would have any it would be a much less frequent, maybe once every 2 weeks or something. I know they do travel there in the winter for skating. I think they kind of got lucky a little bit this year and found other means of travel, but typically they do walk there from the school, and it's quite the long walk. So, as far as moving the gym, I don't think we've ever had. I know there was discussion about engineers or engineering report possibly regarding the back area. Regardless if it's at the front or the back, there would have to be some kind of structural review done of the building, and then it might just highlight that there needs to be renovations done regardless. So if we want to explore that route, I think that's where we need to start. We need to have something like reviewed. We would have to have the whole facility reviewed in that regard, because if we're gonna have to do renovations anyways, do renovations in the space that don't do renovations in the space that's somewhat utilized. Do renovations in the space that's not utilized whatsoever, right? Like, if you're gonna do renovations, do them at the back where, yes, you're gonna have to do renovations, front or back. Do them in the back where it's not utilized at all. There's been requests from community members to be able to convert it into a dressing room and stuff, and I don't know if that's ever gone anywhere, but doesn't ever seem to have gone anywhere. Yeah, and then you get that usability up. I know there's been more events being kind of pushed to be hosted upstairs there, just because it's a little bit more. It's a little bit smaller and easier to maintain than the community center. It's a little bit keeps everything more condensed. And I know we used to have a lot of events at upstairs the arena back in the day, but maybe if there would be renovations done and a proper elevator put in, it would promote that, right? So, and I know the food bank's always looking for more space. So if ever there's renovations being done, that could be expanded upon as well, right? So
Upstairs?
yeah.
Oh.
Well, no. Like if there were renovations done at the back,
With an elevator.
that's what I mean, right? If there's renovations done, any kind of expansion or anything, you would, like if you're doing anything upstairs, you could add to the bottom. There's space downstairs, right?
Okay.
So, I mean, at the end of the day, there's renovation that needs to be done. Grant would be nice, but.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And exactly what you just said, it would be nice to have the elevator and all, but
You need to use it
before
first.
we get anybody interested in offering a grant, we have to show it's gonna be a trafficked area.
Yeah.
And right now, as it stands, it is not a trafficked area.
And the movement, I think the parking lot at the community center, or the health center could be expanded upon towards the back. I think we own the property back there, so that could be an option that's looked at in the future. I think it's probably just as tight as at the school as well for the parking. That's yeah.
That's a good idea, the
Yeah.
extension of that
Yeah.
property.
So I think we have some options to look at. It's just no matter what, there's financial implications.
Oh,
That's
for
all.
sure. Councillor Deschamps.
First, did we, was the school board ever asked if they would consider a reduction on that $10,000 a year since the school uses us as their primary library?
I was told they give us the lowest rate possible. We're below their minimum threshold, and that was the consideration of the school. It's not a significant contribution. I think it's 15 cents a square foot, which is, we're talking not even like 5% discount. But the rate that was quoted to me is no one else has that rate in their school system.
Oh,
It's-
I understand, but we were still been paying that rate for how much it would cost them to have their own library. I'm sure that they're still saving money, so. Just, again, if we could reiterate that possibly, I do think that we need, at this point, a 12-month extension, because we're not gonna be able to get anything done in 3 months. And then, election cycle and all that, it would have to be a 12-month, just to be able to set up future council. Anyways, not saying it's not gonna be us, but future council has to be in a position where they're not coming in and, oh my God, we gotta figure out this lease. So I think 12 months would be the most responsible extension at this point. In my opinion, gives us time to get the ball rolling. I think that that taking the opportunity of that grant and trying to capitalize on that grant would be nice, but it would be, again, you said that, it has to involve housing of employees, not housing of.
Yeah, it's a-
There have to be staffed locations, which again,
Has to be a workplace.
and the library adds that, the gym doesn't really, cause the way the system is set up right now. But there could be, again, we have that, the program coordinator position that's coming up. They don't have an office space either.
Boardroom.
What's that, sorry?
Boardroom. Put them in the boardroom.
No,
It's
I'm
upstairs.
just saying, like, I agree with Councilor Patsy, the back half would be nice to develop too, if we could, at the arena at the top, cause it's just vacant space, and you spoke also to that grant not being able to, you don't wanna take a space that's somewhat used and then turn it into a place that's more traffic. You said, kind of the way I understood what you said, would be better if we could use the unused portions for that. There's also, again, with not to speak directly to the CBO, but we do have shared services where those staff don't technically have offices here, not all of them, so we could have space over there so it's just another means of having employees over in that renovated area, so I think there's a lot of options, and maybe if we could explore that grant would be great, but we do need time to consider everything. So 12 months maybe.
All right, thank you. So renewing with the school, I think, was something that we don't have a choice. And as it stands, if we renew for a year, there's always an exit clause. So do you know if it's 6 months or whatever? But as long as there's an exit clause in the event that we do win a grant and all of a sudden we do find ourselves with some money to invest in a construction or a renovation, I think that would be important to have in there. And I think at least a few mentioned having surveys to have information on what the population wants.
Okay.
And more study, I guess. Yes.
If council would agree, I could have a little blurb in the July newsletters, and maybe looking at future library, put your voice in and a little link to the internet to do a little comments about where you would see the library. And also, council talks about Senator Town, the original library, if you remember, was
Yes.
across the street in that building. It was moved out during the renovations to have more tenants at the school over there. And here was, I think, the original intent was to have a restaurant in there, because at that time, we didn't have enough of 3 restaurants. Unfortunately, now today, we probably should have that restaurant, but we have something even better with the pharmacy. But, and again, about the cost, just to read the cost is $10,000. I know we wouldn't get that full because there's cleaning in there, but any renovations, anywhere we put it here, there's still 5,000 to 7,000 guaranteed per year that we could, even if it's a 50,000, 60,000 renovation over 5-6 years, it would pay for itself. So there is that little silver lining in the cloud. If we do move, yes, it may be an upfront cost, as long as it's not in the $250,000 range, or more, because nowadays it's like you wanna put a cupboard and it's like $5,000.
Yeah.
Like it's insane. So yes, surveying the July newsletter, and I will get costing for an engineer for the back use of the hall, to see how it would cost to do a review. So, and then obviously there's a cost, it would have to come to council for review, because that's one of the issues in the back, is that cracked concrete. Can it be used just for foot traffic? I don't think it would sustain much weight, but it could be a great meeting room, or because it's still semi-set up as a change room, but there's no carpet, it's half finished, everything is not finished, should I say, not finished, but unfinished. And again, for the grants, the way this current one reads, there would be no chance of getting it without a permanent. Like if there'd be an office in the back, like you said, a permanently office in the back, even it's a one that's transition and moving it out, it would be something at least to put in the grant. Again, I can't say there's a staff of 50, I want $500,000, staff of one, I want $500,000, so, but still, it opens up.
Well, could be 2 or 3, you know, the director of operations would be there, the new coordinator position that we've looked at. Again, our other staff that are shared services, we could have an office set up for them there too. You know, there's a lot of, we could expand on that a little bit.
Councillor Leftis?
You're saying the survey out in July, why so long? Like,
Oh, that's, what's the next tax bill?
July.
in the tax bill. you're
Yeah, so it
talking.
reached every resident, so it's not,
Okay, I see what you mean, okay, I thought,
The
Oh,
newsletter
no,
you
you
meant?
said newsletter, so,
yeah, no, and I do apologize,
and I'm just wondering, would you be able to ask the school board, if they'd be willing to take over the library?
I will do all the scenarios, I will do the,
Like,
we
ask them
want
if
a
they
better
want it.
rate, because we're gonna move.
Yeah.
Like that, this is what the intent
Or do
is.
they want the library for themselves?
Or, can we do a, have 50-50 on it? It's like, we pay the staff, you operate the library. Go down to one room potential, and I'll see the costing. Again, that would become a mostly digital library, where it would just be the main section, it would basically,
I don't think they do.
it wouldn't serve the school at that point. The school is responsible for their library, so it's, so if the children need a library, it is the school's responsibility, it's not, it's a different branch. So, they would not have what they have now, but the school would have facilities for the learning environment they're in.
Didn't, oh, sorry, can I still speak?
Yes, yes.
Didn't Warren, the library move from the arena in Warren into the school in Warren just recently?
Yeah.
So is it the school that's taken over that library, or is it still municipality?
I think I think it's
It's a
moving again.
municipality.
Yeah, that's right, I heard that.
And it's gonna
what?
happen in Park State too.
Yeah, they're all moving out of schools.
Oh, boy.
Into
Well,
the schools?
Into
Into the
schools.
schools?
No, no.
Out.
They're moving out.
Well, Mark said Warren just went into the school.
But they're
And then
going out.
they're going out, no.
Not, this,
Okay, yeah.
Yes.
may I? The Warren Library moved from the municipal building into St. Thomas School.
Yes.
I believe they are paying rent to the school.
Okay,
It is still municipally run.
okay.
Marks Day Public School, the library is moving out of the public school. They need more space. So we're moving it into a municipal building, but for,
Arena.
not an arena, because we don't have one
So
in
the
Marks Day. If we did, I would love it there.
municipality's also
No, to Warren.
So the municipality's
No,
paying for the
right.
2 libraries?
They're just.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay, so we've got a few items to deal with. All right, thank you very much. Moving on then. Item 3.4.4, human resources
Yes, again,
options.
as a priority set by council, I worked on this. Okay, let me, so let me
261.
HR resources, so I can cover. So I just went out to get an idea of the council on the cost out there. And let me check my email, because I just got an email that popped up about 5 minutes ago, regarding one of the vendors that I approached, and I wanna see. Okay, so we're good with that one. So I'll go with the report and,
It's,
sorry. Okay, so to give an idea to council on the cost of getting some human resources help, I reached out to various entities to get some costs. So online, the 2 most popular ones were HR Covered and Peninsula. Peninsula is also HR Bright. And so the information for impending there is identical HR Bright. So Peninsula uses the backbone of HR Bright as their basis. So I did not bring any further information on Peninsula because it would be very similar to HR Bright. The Gallagher one, while I was researching that one and waiting for pricing, I talked with the clerk. In 2020, the then council used the services of another company in Sudbury. So I actually reached out to her, had a long discussion with her yesterday, and that was the email that came in. She had a family emergency and was not able to provide the information that she said she would have provided before the meeting. Now I know why. It was a family emergency. There was no communication. So the verbal quote on, because I did ask if you were to redraft an employee agreement and consult back and forth and assist council, it would start at around $1,200 for a review. Unfortunately, I don't have her cost. But when I talked to her, because there would be some, potentially if council wanted to do a face-to-face with them. She's an HR specialist. She did a great work back in 2020. She sort of swayed me from online buffet to pay-per-use service because the HR covered, HR Bright, is basically pick up the phone, you have access to a person with a flat fee. Unfortunately, you pay $14,250, and once you're done using them after a month or two, it's a pay up front. So you've got to make sure you're using it. The only advantage with those two is they have a health and safety component, which is basically pre-recorded videos and sample policies that you put your information in. Their HR advice, the legal advice, they will give you a sample redrafted, but it is still responsibility of the staff to make sure that the information is correct. They're basically just a phone, I keep saying phone a friend, but they're not a friend, they're a lawyer. A lawyer or HR assistant. They say unlimited for HR covered. I do believe that once you use the service, it may not be as limited. I'm sure you have to book but so I know council wants to move forward on correcting, not correcting, but bringing up to date a couple of policies and employment agreements. So unfortunately this time, because I do not have the costing from and the presentation from the company in Sudbury, which on the phone might be more suited to council, because then you can have, if you wanted to, a face-to-face with that person rather than having somebody on a phone, because they don't do video conferencing. And they also told me that both HR Covered, HR Bright probably will not give advice on, other than generic, on unionized employees, because they are specialists in ESA and not specialists on union contracts. So when I found that, it really dampened my expectation, because I can't ask the lawyer, well, in our policy it says this, well, is it ESA? No, they'll give you generic advice then. So that being said, I don't know if council just wants to table this one until I get the quote from the, it's Works anyways, WERX, and not Gallagher. Gallagher just got her, it's a big corporate pricing. So, and then she is a, so just a standalone employer, just a service, so it's not a big corporate service. So again, I was hoping to move this forward, and until I just got the email, because I was trying to reach her and they're not responding, but now I know why, so I do apologize for that. Tried to rush it, but maybe the next committee of the whole.
Yeah, I think because that one sounded, and she had stated the pricing about $1,200
per agreement, but this, and I had sent her all the drafts that we have and the comments, and she said yes, obviously needs to be fixed. machine. That's her wheelhouse. That's what she does as a specialty. And at 1,200, and then it deals with the core that council wants to deal. It may not deal with everything else, but everything else may not be that really important right now. We do our health and safety. We keep track on an Excel sheet. We try our best to keep that in check. Both Michelle, the director of operation, the employee rep, which is Joanne, they always meet on a monthly basis. We try to keep up to date on those. Again, we're not perfect, but there is a method there. But that being said,
Okay,
it's the priority I know from council was to that.
yeah. I think since you didn't get, I'd like to have a written confirmation from her, but that's my opinion.
No, I'm in agreement too, because all the other ones are pretty much, it's good
Similar.
stuff, but it's not, I'm not willing to pay 14,000 for, I think our main focus is the agreement. So
Yeah.
I think that's what we need to focus on.
Okay. Council
No, I'm in
Loftus?
agreement, so we defer it, right, until he
Yeah,
gets a
until he gets the
quote?
next report.
I think that would be the best way to go.
Council Pelletier?
Yeah, I'm in agreement with deferring until the next council meeting. HR Bright, was it, so it's it was a 5-year term? So you were locked in, or?
Yes.
Okay.
It's, they make it so expensive for 12 months that you try to go for the cheaper deal, but then they bind you for 5 years. Yes, you're still able to call somebody, but you're bound for 5 years, and if
Yeah.
you stop using the service, you're still paying, well, you pay up front. Unfortunately, all of them you pay up front.
Oh, it was okay.
And I was open with her, and she did explain to me, and again, I think she was being honest, and I know she was honest. She says, yeah, I get a lot of people that try HR Bright, and I didn't even name the names. She said, oh yeah, they tried Peninsula and HR Covered. That's what she brought up, and they always come back to me, and it ends up being cheaper because you do it, you're done.
Yeah. And you pay for it.
And you pay for it, and then you don't have 2 years. You know, the health and safety fine, it could help, but at this point, I know that the priority is not that.
Okay. Anything to add?
Was there, so, and I know that was part of it, you know, a couple of years ago, was the HR, like like not so much the contract, but like more of the HR assistance with it, like the relations and stuff like that, and policing, and like, I don't know if that was kind of how it was with HR Covered, or the previous, because that was who you had brought up before, right?
Yeah.
And I know that obviously you probably wouldn't be getting that with the other individual, but the other individual offered possibly more insight into the whole union aspect of it, is what you're going with, right? Like, as opposed to HR Covered their ESA, and that's
Yeah,
it.
both EHR Bright and Bright
Yeah.
or ESA. Obviously, it's a unionized contract. It's different language.
Yeah.
So I did not get to that specialty with her because I was trying to concentrate on the priority, because I was trying to do the priority, and when I saw her response, and I said that's exactly what council wants. They want to ask specific questions. They want specific answers. And HR download, you would get the answer, but it's like, I don't think they would sit there and do a video conferencing at 6 o'clock. That's not what they do.
And it's not just it wasn't just the contracts, it was, I had something there, but it's slipping.
You-
Yeah.
You think about it?
Yeah.
Councilor
I forgot.
Deschamps?
I think that the initial intention from council is more to have,
Lawyer.
not retain services year to year, more of per use, to get our ducks in a row, so to speak. So I think that's the only quote from this individual, the only quote that you got that kind of aligns with what we wanted, so if we're waiting till the next committee, the whole meeting, maybe if you could look for other HR consultants that aren't, corporations, you know, just someone that can come in and give their expertise.
Yeah.
Okay.
Since we're already waiting for costing for.
Okay. And just for council, that like the last time they had to use one, they had reached out to a couple of them, and she was the better priced of them all, so, but it's still, we'll take a look, there might be others that have the owner operator of a HR specialist.
Okay.
Yeah.
What do you think of it?
Yeah, it was, so she wasn't like she didn't have access to, like she was an HR specialist, not like lawyer or access to law. What was the terminology? Dedicated employment lawyer or
Yeah.
employment law advice? Like that was, she was HR.
I will give her
Yeah.
her acronyms.
Yeah.
I'm-
Acronyms.
Our acronyms are CHRL, so Certified HRL, which I just saw it there. She's a,
Okay.
whether that,
Yeah.
oh, well, I can actually do it from here.
Like, we already have what we needed from the legal standpoint.
Yeah, we got-
Yep.
We already know what our opinions are that way and, what the advice was given, so now just
Yeah.
to sit down with a consultant and
Yeah.
smash out
Yep.
what we need to smash out, right?
All right. So we're all in agreement, we're gonna wait at least for her, and in the meantime, if you can get.
Certified.
I wouldn't say we're waiting for just her, I would
No,
say that
but-
no matter
Yeah.
what.
In the
that,
meantime, also.
No, I know, I know what
We
I
need to still
am.
keep the pressure on because, again, we're getting to a point where we don't want to, everything we did, we don't want to just go to the wayside, so we still need to keep the pressure on this issue and get it pressed, and even if this individual is able to send you the costing via email or something.
Yeah, I'll
share
get it
then-
this week, and I'll try to see if I can find one or two others in Sudbury, similar type of thing. It's a certified human resource leader. A senior level professional designation awarded by Human Resources. So,
As long as someone that's qualified, that's drafting documentation from here on out, just so we cover every base that we can, right, so
Yeah.
legally.
All right, so you've got your direction, all right. Next item, 3.45, Planning Committee Recommendations, prepared again by yourself, Denny, 264.
yes. I'll just do a brief, and then if the committee members want to step in, so I'll just introduce it. So I did my best to summarize the discussion that had at a planning committee meeting last week. 3 discussions were had. The first discussion was the front portion of the subdivision in front of the arena. Second discussion was the second half of the subdivision north of the arena, north of the municipal drain. And the third was, and I could speak more to the third one, the committee reviewed next step in trying to improve planning support, planning the facility to get like zoning changes, or at least have a consistent information going forward. I did present to the committee, I'll put it this way, the direction from the previous council was to seek out a planner to come and advise council. I reached out to local planners that work in the area, and unfortunately, that is their living, so they do not want to comment on a service that they would need in the future because it may compromise their clients. So if we were to continue going for getting a planner in front of council, it would, I would have to reach out outside the region or to certain planners that do not deal with the planning board. And the planning board deals with all kinds of planners in the area. So one of the planners that I reached out to, they gave 2 recommendations that council should proceed if they want to move faster. The one was to write a letter to the local MMH Director of Planning with a request, the similar request that I had discussed with them, and the similar to the mayor's proposed resolution or past resolution. is still proposed. And he basically said, approach and put the concerns on the province, put the onus on the province, the ones that created the planning board, to answer for what we perceived and what we've heard from local developers as slow, lengthy planning process that hampers growth in our region. And he said go right to the top. And that was his first recommendation of you want action, go there. Because it's a creation of the province, so as much as we may want things to happen on the planning board, it is not under the control of the municipality. It is the control of the province. And the board members that attend can give direction, but not advice for planning purposes. The planner it's similar to a building official. They operate the book, they have the laws, but obviously the province is the creator, so his main correction is go there. Secondly, and maybe conjunctively, maybe after we meet, if council goes that way, is to get this, to work with the CAOs, because then we don't have to involve presentation in public. We can consult with planners and get maybe an alternate setup for the planning board. He did mention that other townships on the Highway 11 corridor have very significant different planning. He mentioned that some have a planning board but don't have a planner. And when you apply for zoning, they would retain the services of a third-party planner. There's a few, I don't want to mention too much because I only know Nipissing Township, but there's a few others, and they're all different models of how a planning board is. That may be more of a staff exercise to see that. And then you can retain planners and look at modeling that way. But again, his main recommendation for this one is, if council agrees, is to move forward and contact the director of local planning and have a one-on-one with her and put the onus on the province to fix their issue in terms of accelerating and maybe improving the planning process in our region. And again, that one is there. So I don't know if members want to talk about the...
Without that, you spoke a lot to the third part of the meeting, but the first two discussions we had were with the developers, two of the developers. They're not all the owners, but the two developers, and one who was speaking on behalf of two, and the one to the north side, I guess would be the best way to put it. Discussing options for this, the municipal improvement for the roads and sewage and such, and how neither party is looking to make a decision without having at least have tenders go out to see what kind of costing there is, right? It doesn't cost us anything to send it out for tenders. We just need to have a basis of what we're tendering out. So the recommendation was that we sent out tender for the road improvement and the drain for the south side and the north side also. North side, there's a lot of stipulation about a pump station that they don't want to put for the septic pumping station, lift station, sorry. But regardless, I think that's what the committee recommended, is that we go out for a tender for complete both sides individually. The south side and the north side could be from two tenders from the same contractor, but we don't want to make a decision on both based off the tenders, and just see where we're at. If it's cost savings from mobilization and for getting both projects done at once, or getting the road across, not having to put a turnaround in. So we wanted to see what the cost would be like.
Yeah.
And the payment option would come after. We wanted to discuss term and loan. Well, again, they want it through property taxes and stuff. I don't know if that's
The petition.
the best way to do it, but regardless, the first step here for any of the approvals would be through getting tendering out, or getting quotes for that ordinance.
So I'm in agreement with, number one, to start with the petition, but they also stated somewhere, trying to look, if the cost is too much, it can be canceled, right?
This is before so what happens once you file a petition, after a petition is filed, we've got 90 days, I believe it was, or 30 days? 30 days to do yes or no after that petition.
Okay.
If we get decision after the petition in 30 days, we gotta get going. This way here, we'll have the costing ahead of time, beforehand, and now it'll help everyone make a more educated decision.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And so we'll see what the numbers are ahead of time before the petition. So the petition is now on the pretty much set on the condition of seeing the costing.
Okay.
And I think we're in favor of that because we don't wanna sign up for anything ahead of time that we don't have a concrete plan in place for, would be wise.
Exactly.
Yeah,
Okay, you're in agreement?
Yep.
yeah, I'm in agreement with that
Yeah,
recommendation.
I'm in agreement with that.
All right, perfect. So that takes care of number 1 and number 2. Now number 3, which is essentially the proposed resolution at the bottom is that something that we have appetite to send to? Who is it again we're sending?
Administrative, yeah.
Okay,
I'm in agreement to send it, yes.
yeah, okay.
I'm
Councilor,
also in agreement.
all right,
Yeah.
okay. Therefore, any,
Again, it's just something like at the planning board level we discussed, and it's a very difficult subject to speak of with the other municipalities too. We know what we want, and some of them know what they want also, but I think the proper way to go about this is if we move it at our municipal level, and then when we go to the board level, we speak it and tell them, hey, this is what we did, this is what we moved, this is why, and if they wanna be in support of the motion also, then they can do what they want. But someone needs to take first step
Yeah.
in this, and hopefully it benefits all the member municipalities.
all right. So everybody's in agreement? Thank you very much. Next. You ready? Mover and a seconder to go into close. Councillor Loftus, Councillor Poitier.
Oh, he's gotta shut it.
Not yet.
Not yet.
Duly moved and seconded. Be it resolved that Council for the Corporation Municipality of St. Charles hereby opens a closed session at
7:37.
oh, that is not bright. 7:37 PM to discuss personal matters about identified individuals, including municipal or local board employees, as authorized under section 239, subclause 2B of the Municipal Act 2001 as amended. Topic, Omer's loan extension request. Topic, 2025 salary increase, labor relations employee negotiations are authorized under section 2392D of the Municipal Act 2001 as amended. Topic 2025 salary increase, litigation or potential litigation, including matters before administrative tribunal affecting the municipal local board as authorized under section 2392E. I don't know if that topic is still correct. So it's, as authorized to section 2392E of the Municipal Act 2001 as amended. Topic, update litigation, but let me check if oh, okay, that's a topic underneath.
Yeah, no, that's,
It's just one's underneath.
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah.
All those in favor? Carried.
Okay.
Shut this off.
Okay.
Closed session part.
First need Yeah.
There we go, sorry.
Oh, there we go.
Yeah, I was going.
Apparently, I have no circulation in the finger.
Is that on?
Yes, it is.
Okay. Can I have a mover and a seconder to reconvene? Councillor Potier, Councillor Framboise?
Moved and seconded, be it resolved that having dealt with all matters pertaining to the closed session, we hereby reconvene to the regular meeting of council at 8:05.
All those in favor? Carried. Direction was given to staff regarding the OMERS loan extension and salary increase as well as steps for the litigation. Can I have a mover and a seconder to adjourn? Councillor Loftus and Councillor Lachance.
Moved in second, be it resolved that Committee of the Whole, March 4th, 2026, be adjourned at 8:05.
All those in favor? Carried. Meeting is adjourned.
Reconvene and adjourn.
The meeting is adjourned. Yes.